Dave Stevens, the AP and SAP.
Dave Stevenson, you mean?
Well, no, but both of them. I know Dave Stevenson, he's the big lump, huge bloke. And then Dave Stevens was junior, and SAP. I don't think he ever made DP. We certainly didn't. I never travelled with DP.
This one is James Stevens.
Not familiar.
John, have you ever heard of a James Stevens?
No, the one you was talking about before. Was it Dave? Did you say Dave Stevens?
Yeah.
He was an SAP on this. I don't know if it's the Spirit or when it was the Sun.
Yeah,
I think he did make DP. I think he went to the Cunard, I believe, at one stage.
But Dave Stevenson, I know Dave.
Yeah.
John, you might have to edit some of this out, I'm afraid. But
okay, I can do that.
Yeah, no, because Dave Jukes thought it was one of our crowd trying to, again, get their name down to go to the pensioners' lunch. And I said, well, he's not one of ours.
Not familiar anyway.
And you say his name's James?
James, yeah.
No, I've never heard of a James Stevenson.
I put him on Facebook and couldn't find out. Well, there's a load of them, but no one had any mutual friends.
Yeah,
which you would expect if they were ex-P&O, wouldn't you?
You would,
yes, yeah.
But he'd have at least one friend, wouldn't he?
Well, hopefully.
You're not talking about Sammy, are you? You'll have to edit that out, Tim.
No, I don't think Sammy's going to worry about it where he is.
Okay, I'm going to be starting the recording from this point on, so this is where it will start. Okay.
Good evening, Johnny.
Hello, Steve. We can't see you.
You can't see me.
No.
Oh, hang on a minute.
No, just keep it like that. It's all right.
Right, you've got me flummoxed here now.
Video, is it off?
I'm looking. There we go.
There you go. So, are you on your iPhone still, Steve?
Pardon?
Are you on your phone still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I am.
Yes, you are.
No one else here, just the three of us, four of us?
No,
at the moment, I don't know what the time is.
John
Mr.
Herbert's
Herbert.
coming in.
I've only just noticed it was on at 6 and not 7.
Yeah, Brendan and Derek, a few of them wanted to watch the football tonight.
Yeah.
But, it might have been a good idea to see what response we get from holding a bit earlier. You know, maybe more people or different people.
Yeah. I mean, it's only the fact that I saw a message there and opened it. I just realised it was 6 o'clock. Otherwise, I would have missed it as well.
Well, I told Phil because he rang me yesterday, and I emailed Stan Jameson because he's not on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether he picks up Messenger either, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Should we get some new faces?
Well, we should do. We have quite a few people new joiners in Australia and on the UK one.
I don't know. I'm going to say this to you, Johnny. A bit disappointing with the Aussie side. There's only two people there this morning, or 3.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We need to up the numbers.
Well, we talked about it before. It doesn't bother me regarding effort. So I say we just keep on doing it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and as we said,
John might attract a few more, but it's an awkward time for me because, well, as you probably know, I had cancer and I had this colostomy, and I have to spend a couple of hours in the bathroom of a morning, and it clashes with me, so it's you know, it's a bit awkward. So
no problem.
can't get on there really.
Yeah.
Evening, John.
Hi,
Evening,
Derek.
Colonel.
Oh, Stan, we've lost. Oh, Stan's there. Yeah. Good
There's
evening, Stan. Evening, Derek.
Evening. Just get
Sounds
the gallery up.
Sounds connecting audio. Derek's there.
Hello. All right. Oh, I've got a polar bear behind me. I'll be
We've
up.
got Stan. Evening,
Good evening,
Stan.
Stan.
Good evening, all. Good evening, all.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are we all?
We're all
Yeah.
well.
Steaming well. Yes, yes, yes. I can only be with you. I can only be with you for half an hour this evening because got to call the grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your calls.
Stan, this is a one-off tonight because it appears that some football's on and some of the lads wanted to view that. So it was just bring it forward an hour for tonight.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I see John sitting on Palm Island again.
Yes, well, I can't leave it. That's some great days there.
You can say that again. Yeah.
So what's everyone been up to this week?
Uh,
Not a lot.
Not a lot, really. It's,
I went up to London on Thursday and met up with David Bruck. I don't know if you remember. He was at the pensioners' luncheon. I wasn't there this year. Anyway, I met up with him for lunch and two of his friends, which was quite pleasant. Went up to St Pancras on the fast train and had lunch and back again. So that's about the most exciting thing I've done this week.
yeah.
I've been travelling using the bus pass, which is something I haven't done so much
Yeah.
for a while.
I bought the senior rail ticket card or whatever they call it, because my sister's moved from Cornwall to Lincolnshire a few weeks ago, and I haven't been there yet to see her. So now she's there, I should probably be going up there more often on the train. So I bought a senior ticket, a senior card or whatever they call it, for 3 years, because it's cheaper doing that than just for the year. So I got one for 3 years, and I'm going up there on the 27th of this month. Just to have a look around and see them. I haven't seen her for over 2 years, what with the Corvette, and then me being stuck in Goa all that time. So it'll be
It's been a pretty, John Trembling, not seen him for a while.
Trembling.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty quiet week all round,
John,
actually. Not much happening.
Has the border opened up for you to go to Goa?
No, I was on with one of the sites this morning with the lady that helped Mark Cook and myself get back, and asked her what the news was, because I've got a 5-year visa which has been suspended, and I asked if she had any, because she seems to be quite knowledgeable on what's going on, because they're starting to let tourists in on e-visas, but it's only for 30 days, and I think it's a charter flight. And I think you've got to book a hotel. You can't just go out there and stay in your own place, sort of thing. So I sent her a text this morning and said, "Have you heard anything yet?" She said, "Well, no, they're just doing it in phases, slow phases, just to see how it takes off." So hopefully it's going to be about January before something like that happens, depending on what the situation is, of course. So
Do you go out every year, John?
yes, I usually go around about this time, end of October, beginning of November, round till April. Well, 2 years ago, I went out there, and of course, COVID rose people's head, and both Mark Cook and myself were out there at the time, and of course, flights were all cancelled before we was due back. So we were quite content to stay there. We didn't have any problems. I mean, we both got our own apartment, so it's like home from home really for us. And it was August the 30th or 31st before we got back. So we was there about 10 months altogether.
Oh, life could be worse. Life could be worse.
Well, I can tell you the flight back was an adventure, one that I don't want to repeat either. We had to go by Delhi, and we had over a 10-hour stopover in Delhi. So there's a hotel there, Holiday Inn, actually in the airport, that you can book a room by the hour. So we booked a couple of rooms for 6 hours, so that mainly to get away from any crowds in the airport, and we got a comfort and could get a couple of hours sleep, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then we went on to the flight. But I mean, the domestic flight from Goa to Delhi, we had to wear masks and a face, what they called it,
Screen thing, yeah.
screen,
Yeah.
on the flight as well, in the airport and on the flight. There was no service on the flight. There was a plastic bag with a couple of muffins, a bottle of small bottle of water, and a packet of mango juice or something or other, and that was your food. Mind you, it was only just over an hour and a half, I think. But and it was very much the same on the flight from Delhi to well, we came in at it was the airport near Southend. I can't think of it now.
Stansted.
Sorry?
Stansted.
Stansted, that's it, yeah. Which we'd hired a car. So Mark brought me back to Broadstairs, which we arrived here about 10 o'clock in the evening. So he stayed the night at my apartment here, and then he drove back to Southampton the next morning and took the car back to Eastleigh Airport. It was a hire car, obviously. Yeah. And then he was up, what was it, a couple of weeks ago for a couple of days, which was nice to see him, sort of thing. But that was
the reason I ask is that when I was on Canberra many years ago, I had the same steward looking after me for years and years, a chap called, well, a very Goanese named Peter Fernandez. And when he went on leave, his cousin used to take over, and he's kept in touch with me, and he rings me on my birthday every year.
Oh, lovely story.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a great character. You know, he owns a bus company. He's got a couple of shops, and he's a local councillor. You name it. And our son was out there a few years ago at New Year, and he invited them out for the night, and apparently it was something quite fantastic. You know,
yeah.
Big party, everybody in evening dress. It was amazing. But it's wonderful the way he just rings up and, you know, says hi. It's terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, they're very sociable people. I mean, I get invited out to various places, and I mean, one or two of them there, through knowing the guys at sea that invited me round, I've become friendly with the family. One in particular, one of the brothers, him and his girlfriend at the time, I mean, they're married now and got a couple of kids, but at that time, if they were going off, we used to go off touring, and I'd invite me to go with them. And I went North India, South India, right down to the very tip of India, where the sun, as they say, shines first on India.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic because I got out, they were doing the driving, and you know, we'd stay in one place one night and another place another night, and it, you know, it was really they're really hospitable people.
Yeah, but, we need to welcome Mr. Tremlin back. Sorry, John.
I was about to do that, John.
It's all right, guys. I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Looking well.
To be back in, but it'll be brief, I'm quite sure.
Good evening.
We've also got Brendan in the house, and we've got Blackpool Bob. Welcome, guys.
I'm afraid I've got to peel away. I've got to peel away a bit earlier than normal. Sorry, chaps.
On the screen, it worked better for me tonight at this time, I've got to say. But you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Sorry, I'm not as good as Ingy as an anchorman, so you know.
Is he working again?
Yeah. You got another week on the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Nice work if you can get it. Playhouse with a passenger cabin.
Is that where he's got? Is he back on the ship?
And superstar wages.
Playhouse Waller.
Yeah.
Playhouse Waller, yeah.
It must have been the green plastic suit that done it.
Has anyone heard if he's coming back on Tuesday or not?
Well, we haven't heard anything all week from him. And while we're talking about ships, Captain Jameson, I'm going to be on the Regal Princess in a couple of weeks, so maybe Captain Foster will still be there. And if so, I'll pass on your regards.
Oh, indeed, of course, yes. I'm completely out of touch with them now. I don't think I know any of them.
Well, I'm the same way. But so they said that he remembers you. So yeah.
Well, if you please do that for me.
Yeah, we'll see if he's still there. Yeah.
Yeah.
John, Captain John.
Yeah.
Found that in life working, I spent only 7 years on cruise ships, but 25 years on ferries, and then a couple of years on ferries in the north of Scotland, and then 12 years with tankers and gas ships. And when you leave these jobs, and you meet a lot of nice friends and things like that, but sadly, I mean, unless you put the effort in, you do lose touch with a lot of people. But I can honestly say, this group, it's the shortest work period really of my life, and so long ago, and yet I'm in touch and see so many people from that period. It's quite funny. I mean, I was 25 years on ferries, and I'm in touch with 2 or 3 guys, and yeah, I'm on cruises for 6 years. I'm in touch with
because they don't have the crew bar.
No, they don't. Well, there was no drinking on the ferries, John, for a bloody good reason. But no, it's just life, and I find you lose touch with people, but it's just really nice that we're able to keep in touch like this. It's just really brilliant, I think.
I'm back in touch with a guy who I joined the first trip at sea. He was a bellboy, the same as me on Arcadia. And I got back in touch with him, Maurice Stewart, and he was on the ferry for 20 years after Arcadia.
I know Mo Stewart. I know Mo Stewart. I do him. I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know he became a bloody traffic warden?
Did he?
Yeah.
I won't go near him with a car.
No, it wasn't. No, I'll tell a lie, Trembles. It wasn't a traffic warden. It was was it not a policeman? What's the one before that? It's
PCSO.
what?
PCSO.
That's right. He became one of those. He became one of those.
I'll invite him to join this group because he's a nice guy.
Lovely guy.
Fun at sea, yeah.
And, I never knew that.
To join, if that's all right with everybody else.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, fantastic.
John, do you remember a guy called Neil Patton? Was a winger on the Ark. He eventually went to other ships. But he was a mate of Tim Heavey, and he's a mate of Tim Heavey's and Tony Sparta.
So I remember those names, but I don't remember him.
No, he was quite a tall bloke, blonde hair, and a really good bushy moustache.
No, I don't remember.
He got in contact with me this week, and I've seen him for 40 years. So sent me a photo of his family. I think he got off. He's married in Australia. He got off the Orchids on its final trip and settled in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I mentioned your name and a couple of others, and he said, "Yeah, I remember them." We were hoping he was coming on this morning, but he's all in the crew bar and registered and that, isn't he, Dave?
Yeah.
I'll send a message to Morris to get him to send his details to you, John. Is that all right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know Mo very, very well. He was a good guy, very good guy on the ferries.
Yeah. All right, I'll send him a
solid.
We sort of keep in contact quite frequently recently when he knew I was on Facebook and what's the other messenger?
I was AP with him on one or two.
You know him, Derek. You know him, Derek, very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone
he was warder and bellboy on Arcadia? He looked after the warden. I used to go up and help him sometimes.
How many trips did he do, John? On the Ark?
He did one trip he told me he did one trip as a winger. I don't remember that part of it, but he done one trip as a winger and then went on Torres and Townsend.
That's right, yeah.
Because you were a winger when I joined, weren't you?
I think
you and Tim.
I was winging,
And Adrian was section waiter, wasn't he?
Aide de camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he here? No.
We got Charles coming in. Guys, we've got Charles coming in from Bermuda.
Hi, Charles.
Gizzy sent a message. He's unable to do the live recording of the crew bar this week, so decided to go to the pig instead.
Yeah, he's just a
Doesn't
pub
take
called a
much,
Pig
does
and
it?
Whistle.
Yeah.
He's in a pig. He's in a pub called a Pig and Whistle. Don't know how long he's going to find that, but he did find it.
So, how's sunny Bermuda, Charles?
Little bit overcast this afternoon, but it's still warm, very warm.
I could say that's a bugger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely.
It looks like you've got a power outage there, Charlie.
A power outage.
Yeah, look, we can't see your face. It's
okay.
because the angle of your camera in the background. That's why.
Okay, let me try and
You just
sort
shifted
that
it
out
around.
then while you're.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. Yeah.
Well, what you were saying before, Brendan, yeah, it's
There you go.
quite an experience, isn't it? All those guys getting together.
It is. It really is, and it's really nice, to see and everyone's stories. And there's a lot of people. It intrigues me, what happened to them, because I remember when I was a bellboy, there was a guy called Nick Taylor, and he only did the one trip, and he said, "I'm going to go back and take over my father's business." And I said, "Oh, what was that then?" And he's a funeral director. I said, but this lad was only 16. I mean, we were both 16-year-old bellboys, and he decided that at 16 he wanted to be run a funeral business.
I'm going to disappear for a couple of minutes. I've got a call coming in.
So I suppose he was always busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, if anything goes wrong here, it's none of my fault. I never started this.
Yeah, because we had over 20, 24 last week, 25, didn't we?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an early one this week, so maybe a few can't make it.
They'll all be trying to log in later. That's why.
Why have we gone early? Is there a reason for coming in at 6 o'clock?
Yes,
Football.
Football?
Brendan, you know why we've come early.
No, I've not been following it.
Didn't you suggest it, Brendan?
We usually start it off.
I was in a pub last night, and Scotland scored in the 91st or 2nd minute, and there was one Scotsman in there, and he went absolutely nuts. I thought, it's only a qualifier. I mean,
It weren't Alistair, was it?
he went
They
nuts.
don't normally do that.
Yeah, what's his name, Alistair?
I was on a ferry once running to where were we going to? We were going to Orkney and England were playing Northern Ireland in Northern Ireland, and it was one of these communal messes that they decided that they wanted to have on the ship. So all the officers and the crew ate together. It actually worked quite well, but I was the only Englishman on the crew. And I was quietly watching the game with all the other guys, and it was alls and ahs and everything. And then Northern Ireland scored, and they all jumped up, pointing their fingers at me, you English bastard, and we scored, And I thought, where's all this come from? Yeah, and they hold
My
this.
wife wants to say hi to Captain Jameson.
Hi, Stan.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I see you've got me clutching your young son in the background there.
I know. Our young son will be 40 this year.
I know, it makes you think, doesn't it?
I know. It's hard to believe. Yeah. It seems like just yesterday.
Yeah, you're keeping well, are you?
Yes, we're getting ready to take a princess cruise in December.
Oh, on the Regal.
On the Regal, yeah.
Ah, very nice.
We're excited.
We sailed on her.
Yeah.
Nice ship. Where is the cruise?
It's just going from Miami to Turks and Caicos. It's just
Very nice.
a 4-day cruise because it's a seminar at sea for me.
Ah,
Lovely.
So
very nice. Very nice.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, lovely. And it's super to see you.
It's great seeing you.
You haven't changed that much.
Oh, yes, I have.
Very diplomatic.
Well, yes, you've got to
Thank
be.
you. I think we all have.
Yeah, well,
Hi,
I'll say goodbye. I'll put John back on, but it's great seeing all of you.
And you there.
Hi, Cindy.
In actual fact, Mrs. Kling, we may be speaking to you about an Alaskan cruise this next year.
Oh, she'll be happy about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, good evening, Noel.
Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing?
Hello, Noel.
Grand.
I hope
How are you doing, Noel?
I hope the weather is good over there. It's like summer here again. And what's happening?
It's been lovely today here.
Not bad here at all. No.
Yeah.
In actual fact, I've been to Wales today. I went to Wales for lunch.
You got in without a passport, did you?
Yeah. They did let me in and out after a lot of arguing.
Some Welsh lamb, Steve.
Yeah. In actual fact, I did have lamb. I had lamb shank.
Ah.
Very nice.
What about the Wellington?
Went for a bit of a ride. Well, it was nice.
Anyway, Charlie, you've brightened up now. We can see you properly now.
Okay, no problem.
Sun's come
Which
out.
one do you prefer?
Yeah.
I have to go early, I'm afraid, this week, because there's some food waiting for me, and I've been told I've got to peel away by 6:30. So
Yeah.
I would just like to say. So I'm going to say goodbye, guys, early.
Okay, Brendan.
I'll catch up with you next week.
Brendan, before you go, I have a story for you.
No petrol. You've got none.
That's okay. We have plenty of spare. There was this guy used to go into a pub and he ordered 3 pints every time he went in. And the barman he said, "What's wrong with this guy? Every time he came in, 3 pints." He said, "Do you mind if I ask you, why do you order 3 pints?" And he said, "I've got a brother in Australia and I got a brother in the UK." He said, "And every time I have a pint, I promise him I'd get a pint for them." That was fine. The barman was happy. So a few weeks later, he went in and he ordered 2 pints. And the barman said to the other barman, he said, "Oh, just poor old Johnny," he says, "one of his brothers must have died. I better go over and sympathize with him." So he goes over anyhow. He said, "I'm sorry for your trouble, Johnny." "Ah, no," he said, "it's not that at all." He said, "I'm off to drink myself." Okay, Brendan, goodbye.
Hey, guys.
1, 2. I'll be in a moment anyway.
Bye. Yeah.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay.
Off and in.
Stan, you said you wouldn't be able to stay too long tonight. So were you being summoned?
I was indeed. This is the time of night we usually speak to the kids, you know.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We understand.
Yeah, if you'll excuse me, I will disappear, but I'll see you all very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Stan. Thank you.
See you. Take care.
Good night, mate.
Nice to see you. Bye.
Charlie, have you made contact with Paddy Ryan and any of the others? And Roger?
I spoke with him today and Willsy, John Wills.
Right. And
Yeah.
did they say why they haven't come?
I didn't ask them. They were on a bus tour in Bristol or around Bristol. They were doing a little. Willsy come over to see Pad, so they were touring around on a bus. But I said I'll speak to them through the week, so I'll try and find out why they haven't. And the same with Roger. You know, he put the app on there and everything, and he still ain't come on. So you know, they must be shy.
Taffy, what are you to say?
Hello, Taffy.
Taff.
Actually, can I ask Blackpool Bob a question?
Yeah.
Does your Peak Boy always bring you a coffee and a brandy?
Well, most evenings, yes. He's quite good at it, yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. I have to feed him though.
Taffy's going to be upset.
You're not still driving, are you?
Me? No, I'm parked up. Parked up and knackered. Oh, Dear
Well, you're
Mr.
travelling again,
Trembling,
are you?
how nice to see you. Mr. Trembling,
Yes, sir. How you doing?
nice to see you.
And yourself, sir. Sorry it's been a while. But we've been quite busy. In fact, I'm full up tonight, all but one room, but there you go. That's fine.
Actually,
Aye.
that coffee and brandy reminded me of Fred Wright. You remember him? On the Canberra, PRS.
I forgot to tell you, the crew bar opened at 6 tonight, not 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Fred Wright, PRS. He used to sit in his cabin and he'd always have a brandy and a cigar. And he never went to the crew bar or anywhere else. That was all he ever did.
Don't remember him.
You know, no, he was in the Bonita Club with us, Noel.
Yeah, I remember Fred, yeah.
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 A
Every
quiet
night
fella,
he's-
a quiet lad, yeah.
Yeah,
So
my
where are you
cabin
heading
was
to,
opposite.
Alan?
He's
I
sitting
forgot
there with
to
his
tell you,
brandy.
the crew bar was open at 6, not 7.
What was the barman's name there? Was it Reg
You're in the pub.
Sherman? Was it Reg?
Yeah, it was Reg. Yeah.
And Danny Boyle was his assistant.
All right,
at the
well,
time.
hopefully
right,
you'll join
yeah.
us. All right.
Remember when he used to come into the pantry and we had all them filtered coffees? We were going to give them to charity. He used to come in and punch them and break them up.
That's right. Yeah. It's Duffy knew the man.
It's quiz night. It's quiz night for Mandy.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be part of her team.
Yeah, that's not Mandy. Oh, that's Mandy. That wasn't Mandy.
Yeah, we're
She
part,
knows she's holding the phone.
we're part of her team in the pub.
Yeah. She
By
can't
the
hear
way,
you.
I forgot to tell a couple of people who don't normally use the messenger and what have you that we were opening early. So I've just quickly phoned them.
Turn your audio off when you do.
I just want to introduce Jane, my good friend.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Jane.
Husband,
Hello. The answer is 23, Mandy.
No, it's 24.
Oh, shit.
So noisy. I'll have to send questions by messenger. I just
How you getting on with your tomatoes, Mandy?
Yeah,
Lost that.
Right, I think we've lost Mandy.
Yeah. Anyway, were you ready to, Alan?
Right.
I think it's the silver pair.
We're ready to, Alan.
At the moment, I'm parked up looking down on Mr. Brendan Cole's estate
Oh, really?
in Dover.
Okay.
I'm on top of the cliffs in between Dover and Folkestone, looking down on Brendan and Sherry's estate.
Right. Are you going over to France tomorrow?
In the morning, God willing, I spent the week filling in forms and what have you, and in the morning, I'm gonna go across, and once I get across there, I shall be super chilled.
How long are you going for?
5 weeks, maybe a little bit longer.
Oh, nice.
5
Yeah.
weeks.
Where are you going? Just France or?
Well, I've got a very loose. It doesn't matter where I end up.
No, that's right. That's
But
fair enough. That's good.
But my intentions are to go to the beaches of Normandy first. I want to cycle. I've done it before. It's a wonderful experience, and the history is unbelievable. I want to park up on Sword Beach, and I'm going to try and cycle them all the way to Omaha, where the Americans landed, and I'm hoping to do that. And then I'm heading down to Biarritz, down the southwest of France, and I'm going to cross the border, hopefully. I'm either going to drive straight down to the Mediterranean, down to the Spanish coast, or I'm going to turn right and go to Portugal. I'll see how things work out with.
Sounds great, mate. You enjoy that. That sounds really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Going down to see Sue.
Well, I'm going to drive right along. My intention is to drive right along the Spanish coast to the south of France. Come back and have a week in the south of France.
Taffy,
that's my intention.
Taffy, if you go along from sort of Malaga, Torremolinos, do you remember we talked about the two guys that were on the ferries, Cliff and Richard? I've forgotten the name. He's got a bar in Torremolinos.
All right.
Do you remember? But you remember we spoke about him. I've forgotten his surname.
It's not Richard Hunter.
Who?
Richard Hunter.
Oh, he's out of us.
You can visit Peter Pratt. He flew into Spain yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No, these guys
do some reservations by the sound of it.
These guys have got a place down on the Carawaya, just outside of Torremolinos, and I remember chatting to you and you remembered Cliff. His brother Richard's got a bar down there as well, and you were.
I know Cliff. Yeah, I know Cliff.
And he used to make records.
But I have a famous cartoon and poem that I put up whenever I go off on one of my adventures, and I can't remember the words now because I've had a long drive up. But it virtually says, "I know not where I'm going. The time will decide. It doesn't really matter. I'll just end up where I fucking end up."
Good for you, Taffy.
I've driven right round Europe a dozen times, and I've never got lost. I've driven with Alan Bacon and Peter and Steve 20 miles, and I've missed every frickin' turning. If I'm in the car or the camper van on my own.
It's Pete Stevens jinx. We've done that before, and Mr. Ship in Los Angeles.
Slightly.
Well, I can't constipate with anybody else in the car with me. But when I'm on my own, I can go anywhere, and I've never been lost going around Europe about a dozen times.
Well, you said it, Alan. You said it, Alan. No matter where you end up, you just go. So you're not going to get lost, are you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Taffy, it's kind of sad because just before you came in, I had my wife talking to Commodore Jameson, so you missed that, but that's okay.
I did never miss it, John, because I enjoy the edit.
Yeah,
that's why I come in a little late, so it's the following day or the day after I've got the first half to watch.
That's good. Yeah.
Out of interest, John, I've just sent Maurice Stewart an invite with the connection to sign in if he wants to, and he read it, so he's got it anyway.
Good.
Taffy might know Mo Stewart.
Pardon?
You know Mo Stewart, Taffy?
Yeah, I know Mo Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he might sign in. I've been talking to him quite a bit online. So.
All right.
Yeah.
No, do you know where Jimmy McAleary is?
No, I haven't heard from Jimmy for a couple of years. He was up in Derry. That's where he lives, and he was manager of a shopping centre up there.
Yeah, last time I bumped into him in Manchester Airport a few years back.
He used to go to the P&O pensioners' lunch.
That's right. He used to go to I was to go with him, but I lost contact with him in the last couple of years, and I got no Christmas cards from him. So I don't know what's happened to him. Yeah, I went up to see him. I went up to see him a couple of years back, and he had a nice setup, but I don't know. We just lost contact over the last 3 years. I haven't heard from him.
Yeah. I believe he's living in England now.
Is that right? Yeah, because I know his daughter lives.
I think he was going to stay near them somewhere.
Yeah, because his marriage broke up. He's,
Yes.
I think it was Jackie, his wife, the lovely girl. She was a telephonist on the Canberra, I think, wasn't she?
Yeah, but when he was at the pensioners' lunch, he was with another lady.
That's right. Yeah, she's a nurse. When we went up to see them there about 5 years back, and we had a lovely weekend up there in Derry. And
he is on Facebook.
Is he? Yeah.
Yes.
I must try and get in contact with him again. The trouble is we're so far away here, although, it's about a 5-hour drive up to Derry from here.
Right. He used to stay near where Danny McLaughlin used to live.
That's right, yeah.
Buncrana.
That's Buncrana, yeah. And he's not far from the Reedy brothers either.
I knew you were going to say that, Noel. I knew it.
Cut.
Yeah. And the other Danny, who was up in the Bonita Club, I don't know where he went to.
What, Danny Boyle?
Danny, yeah, he took over from me in the main bar in the Canberra when I left, but again I lost contact with him.
Well, I know he used to live in Southampton, Noel, didn't he? But
he did, yeah.
But whether or not he's still there or whether he went back to Ireland, I really don't know.
Yeah. Because him
and Ronnie Curtis. Oh yeah,
Ron Curtis. Ron is still in. Is Ron okay? Is he?
I don't know. Never heard of him.
Yeah. I know Johnny, what do you call him, died, didn't he? John
Teague.
John
Teagle.
No.
Teague, yeah.
No, John, he was on the West Coast Road. John Reardon.
John Reardon, yeah.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
John took over.
Was he Canberra? He was in Canberra main bar, wasn't he?
Yeah, John took over. He relieved Dougie when he went on leave there with me, but we didn't get on very well with John. John and I didn't see eye to eye.
And, he wasn't a regular, was he?
He wasn't. No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't a regular.
I mean, John liked he liked the limelight. Lord rest him. I think he passed on now.
Yeah, I think you're right now.
Yeah,
I think Reg Furman went to Tasmania, I think.
That's right. That's right, because he was saving up all his money and he knew how to save. He had a girlfriend in Tasmania, and that's where he was going.
Yeah, Reg Furman was in Reg Furman was in the Bonito Club when I was on Canberra.
Yeah, that's where he was. Him and Danny.
He was there for years, wasn't he? Yeah.
What about our old barman?
Made himself a millionaire.
No.
Who?
What was our old barman in the Crow's Nest? Peter.
Oh yeah, the old camp guy. What was his name? Yeah.
What was his name? Peter.
Oh God, I can't. I can't remember. How some of them guys got away with things, they're just unbelievable. I think the worse you were, you got promotion because they just wanted to hide you, put you with somebody who was good. Yeah.
Wasn't the most hygienic person, was he?
Well,
the best one about that was what's his name? John from Yorkshire. When he had the cricketers, he used to piss in the sink when he was serving the punter.
Oh, John Gedge.
Yeah, Gedgy.
Gedge.
Oh,
And behind the curtain. And he used to think he was normal. Yeah, that was when he wasn't allowed anywhere. Oh.
Kevin, I work with Kevin in the horse box, and I think he done the same thing. I'd leave him, the bar was closed, he'd be chatting up a few old ears. He'd lean over the counter and he was draining the spuds all night.
Right, so Halloran, he was the only one that I know that had a special cure for crabs that he got somewhere on Arcadia. I won't even mention it. Yeah.
Oh. Noel.
Yeah, Trembles, as you started, you be on.
Noel.
Yes,
on
Tom.
a nicer subject. Do you remember Paddy Francis?
Of course, Paddy, he played the fiddle, didn't he?
Wasn't he a lovely guy? And the story is, you know, I was pantry boy when you were public room steward up in the Bonito.
Yeah.
And I used to be Oscar's Barrett. Well, when we got back to Southampton, they made me up to PRS. And they put me in the island room as a public room steward with Stan the Sheriff. Oh, Stan the Sheriff. And Paddy Francis was behind the bar. What a lovely, he must have been the nicest barman ever to be at sea. He was the real gent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in. Yeah, I went there to the island room as well.
I just remember that bloke's name, Pete Barber.
And I have to say, as some of you who worked with me may know, Steve, I don't handle stress very well. I used to get wound up like a top. Even in the island room, I used to get wound up. And Paddy used to say, nil's illegittimo, non carborundum. And I never knew what it meant.
Well,
He's such a lovely guy. And also,
you couldn't get stressed in the island room. There was never anybody up there.
Tell me, on the Canberra, was there a barman called Des Grundy?
Yes, there was. Yeah.
Was he an Australian guy?
Oh, no, he was English. He was an English guy.
He was English who lived in Rhodesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think so.
In the Rhodesian army.
Yeah.
When I first went on there was a guy had the Alice Springs, and I'm sure was he an Aussie? That would have been about 75.
I can't remember who done the Alice Springs now. I just can't.
Because when I first went on there, Basil Wilson was in the Century Bar.
Yeah, Basil never left there.
He's still there.
Basil had a girlfriend in Hong Kong, and that's the only time he went to shore. He never left the ship when he got to Hong Kong. And she used to come down and bring him down, and he went away for 2 or 3 days. That was it.
Yeah. I worked in the Alice Springs with Roy Wakefield. Don't know what year that was. That would be about 74, 75.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I can remember Roy. Yeah.
Well, the only time I went to the Alice Springs was to go through to the disco, the Peacock Room at the other end, about 11:30 at night.
Yeah, there was a nice. I can't think of his name now. Steve, I think he was a real young Cockney guy, and he was really he was running that when I was in the Cricketers.
Pete Elson was there.
Yeah, Steve. He was real Cockney. He was real flash hardy, but a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, not right.
That's
unfortunate.
I worked with Fat Jeffrey and John Montoya in the old
Alice
bar.
Springs.
Does anyone know if Big Jeff is still alive?
I heard he's dead. I don't know. I heard some time ago that he's dead. But I don't know.
Jeff Hawksworth.
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, but poor Jeff, for years when the old rules were there, he never could go and leave. He always worked by, because if he left to Canberra, there was no guarantee of getting back. And
Is that the one they used to call Tiny?
He had his own cabin and all, and he just couldn't leave. So I was sad night, because he was a nice guy as well, but God love him.
Is that the one they used to call Tiny?
Probably.
He
was on the camera for years, yeah.
Yeah, grey or white hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did. He died a few years ago.
So there's too many have passed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he went a few years ago.
By the way, where's Dave Inge gone? He hasn't passed.
He's come back to sea.
He's back at sea.
Yeah, good man, Dave.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got to go. I'll see you later. I won't be next week because I have a christening here.
Okay, John.
Okay,
John.
John.
Good to see you again.
Cheers, John.
Take care. See you now.
Bye.
Bye, John.
Bye. Yeah, Dave Inge is the highest paid plate washer at sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there's something going on. Because the first week he went, he was sending videos and messages. He has sent us nothing all week long. Whose phone's that?
Not mine.
Is that your phone, John? Who's got a phone ringing?
Probably through.
Oh, might be somebody trying to get in.
No,
Yeah,
I
Brian
think
Billett's trying to get
John
in.
Herbert.
I
Right.
think,
No, it's not me. Not me.
I think it's Dave Inge trying to get a phone call through.
I'm not saying anything going on, John. It's just, I don't know. He's now a plateman. He can't just do things like he did. He might have lost his status as the officer status now. He's chained to a big sink.
Has he taken that jacket off?
Does he have to wear his uniform?
What about his nice stripes? They're going to get all splashed in the sink, aren't they?
Yeah. Somebody's trying to get in.
all over him, yeah.
Who is this? This could be him now.
This could be us.
This could be Inge.
Could be Dave.
Nah, I don't think so.
Well, he's got an iPhone.
Yeah. Who's this?
Oh, this is good stuff. This is suspenseful.
Suspenders. Keeping us on as suspenders.
There's a good picture of Gizzy on the other thing, sitting in the Pig and Whistle.
Sorry about the phone going off, guys. It was Phil. He's working at the hotel, so he's not able to come tonight.
Right.
Okay, Foodie. Just next time, if you mute yourself, then we'll be all good.
John, I went to get a drink and to go.
Okay, Foodie.
I never thought about the phone.
Okay, Foodie.
No, Fruity, you know.
Connect to audio.
No, Fruity, you know why Dave Inge went back to sea, don't you? He gets a bollocking every week.
No.
Phil.
Arrives.
Fruity, you've just told us a porky.
Hey, oh, Phil.
He's just turned up. Do you want me to replay the message?
Yeah. Oh, you told him. Okay. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm stuck in the hotel for the evening. Thank you. Have a good one.
You want to get time, Phil? You want to get time off to watch the football, Spain and France. Don't forget. Have your television here.
Okay. Cheers, mate. Enjoy.
All the best, Phil.
Bye. Hey, Phil.
Bye.
Oh, that's all right.
Noel, a couple of other people that I thought about that were on Canberra then as well was Sid the Yid.
Oh, yeah.
Sid the Yid was on the
Ronnie Tiano and Edie.
Oh yeah, Edie. Yeah, Edie. God, I have a photograph of Edie. I must put it up on the Facebook thing on Taffy's Seagoing Friendships. Yeah, a lovely photograph of Edie on the Canberra, whatever, and in the crew in the mess, obviously.
Well, last we heard of him, he was running a cab company called Camp Cabs.
Oh.
I think it was Blackpool, Bob. I think he was up in Blackpool.
No, well, it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know. I've never heard of them.
Either that or Manchester, one or the other.
What about Brighton? He was my cabin mate, Edie, on the Canberra.
John, I didn't realize that you had a cab business.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Sid the Yid. Is he the same guy who was on the Sun Princess? We used to call him One-Eyed Sid.
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
Christ, he was old in them days. He must be long gone.
Oh, he's long gone, I think, Sid the Yid.
I mean, he was old when we were young.
He was old on Canberra in 75.
Oh, well, there's nothing down for him, Bob, then.
There was the other fella who died on there, Ron Grundy. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He stopped it.
Yeah, that's the guy I thought was the Aussie guy.
No.
You remember?
He was
I
from
think
South
that's the guy that used to have the Alice Springs.
Yeah, Ron Grundy.
You worked with him.
He always used to get pissed up because the Alice Springs used to close about 7 o'clock, didn't it?
Yeah.
and he used
Yeah,
to
it was
there
a
on
food,
this,
yeah, food bar, yeah.
and I think he fell down a companionway.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
But Nevin was his assistant at that time,
yeah,
and he fell down a companionway, broke some ribs, and he was laid up in his berth. And Nevin went in to take him some lunch in, and he was fucking dead in bed.
yeah.
Really? I didn't know that now, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, do you remember when I said earlier about someone called Grundy?
Yeah.
I asked a question, was there a chef called Grundy?
Bill Grundy.
Yeah.
Bill, was it Bill Grundy?
Bill Grundy, yeah.
Bill
Big
Grundy.
Bill, yeah, yeah.
I sailed with him. I only did one trip with him. I think it was on the old Oriana. That was before I went to the Spirit of London maiden voyage. And he was chef there. That's the only time I ever sailed with him. But no, I got on with him okay.
John, was there a guy called Jack? Someone was a
What
chef.
was he?
Chef. Jack. This came up in a conversation with.
There was a chief baker, Jack Alton.
No. This came up in a conversation the other day with Adrian Smith about Bill Grundy.
Yeah.
Who? Jack Cox is the name.
Oh, Jack Cox. Yeah. I don't think I sailed with him, actually. I might have done the standbys with him, but I don't think I ever actually sailed with him.
He was a chef as well, was he?
Yeah. He was one of the old school.
Yeah.
He was P&O. I think, Bill Grundy was P&O as well, because some of them came from the Orient line, like Bill Baker and even Malcolm Pierce. He was originally Orient.
Yeah. he was on the Chusan when I first arrived.
Yeah.
Malcolm Pierce.
Yeah.
Is he still around, John?
No, Malcolm passed away years ago.
Yeah, sadly. I
It's
went to
very
the
sad,
funeral.
Did you? Yeah, I was there as well. I went to Malcolm's funeral.
Yeah, it was down in Brighton, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Who just posted
Pat Welsh was alive then, he organised it all.
Someone just posted a menu of Malcolm Pierce.
I did.
Charlie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, with Malcolm Pierce on it, yeah.
Yeah.
That was off
That's
the
off the
Canberra.
Ark, isn't it? Oh,
Sorry?
Canberra. No, I didn't check what ship it was off.
Yeah, that was off the
I think
Canberra.
Malcolm was on most ships, actually, at some time or other.
Yeah. Lovely man.
Yeah, was. Good guy.
Because they on the Chusan, the head chef and the second steward and the chief steward, all their cabins were all in the same little alleyway halfway along
Chief
the
steward, chef, who else? Second steward. Yeah, they was all up in that one little annex, like an annex.
Yeah. I think it was Dennis Tanner as the second steward. And,
Yeah.
And Charlie Walker, chief steward.
I sailed with Dennis Tanner on the Himalaya, I think it was, in the late 60s.
And John Ashton was the third.
Well, John Ashton, he was on Chusan. He was a assistant AB then. I think he used to do, when they used to do galley service, the ABs.
Yeah. He was the first person
I think it was breakfast or lunch, what it was. I think it was breakfast. And I remember him down there on the breakfast service, John.
Yeah. He was the first person I met when I walked on board the ship for the very first time.
Yeah.
And
Last time I saw him he was third steward on the Oriana. John Ashton.
What would be the modern day first steward's position? Like hotel manager?
No, hotel manager is the executive person now.
Okay.
All that sort of thing's gone, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no leading hands anymore.
No.
Everyone's, if they're not a steward, they've all got a gold stripe.
That's right, yeah.
Cool. When we went on the Regal Princess in August, there was blokes with 2.5 gold stripes doing usheretting in the theatre.
Well, that's not right.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
I wouldn't like it now, John.
Yeah.
You go on the ferries.
Well, it's all done to reduce the salary. They got a bit of gold on. They put a bit of gold on your shoulder and take it out your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember a guy called Noel Cunningham? He was an entertainment officer on the Canberra, going back in the early 70s, very early,
Yeah.
late 60s.
What was he like?
He's running a big hotel now up on Donegal. I was up there about a month ago. It's called Harvey's Point. If you look it up, it's really a posh hotel. But he's also a bit of a TV star here. He's written books on etiquette for table manners and how to dress yourself and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Noel Cunningham. I never met him. When we're up in Donegal, I tried to call in to have a word with him, but unfortunately he wasn't there on the day, so I just thought somebody might have known him. It's gone back probably in the late 60s, so all you guys are too young to remember that.
That's funny. It's funny, Noel, that you said the surname Cunningham, because I told you years ago, my cousin, Francis Cunningham, lives in Athlone.
I think lives in Ballymore, near Mullingar.
Okay, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I kind of lost touch with him a bit, but my sister chats with him, but small world, yeah.
Small world, yeah.
Yeah. You getting the traffic lights ready soon, Fruity?
Did Brendan turn up tonight?
Yeah, he's gone to watch the football.
Right, yeah. And
He's got 8 o'clock.
He's got a Sunday roast on, a bit of Welsh lamb, he said.
Yeah, he's having that first, then he's watching the football.
Having a Welsh roast. Oh.
Didn't you get invited, Taffy?
Oh yeah, I just missed him. And I'm too knackered. I've had a bit of a walk and that's me done. I've had it.
Yeah.
The head's gone.
I got a question for you, Taffy. It's probably a silly question coming from a Yank. So when you get over to France and the continent, and you stop at a petrol station, like a gas station, does it just take your credit card like normal?
Yeah, I haven't been over for 2 years now. But,
yeah, it will do.
They do, John, yeah. I can tell you that they do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What it does though, John, it will take a charge for the conversion rates.
Okay.
You get options as to whether you want to take their rate or at the rate that it gets exchanged at.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to be a bit sort of careful with it.
It should be all right with your American Express.
You can get a cash card and put euros on it. That's what I do.
I've got a travel card that I can load up 7 different currencies on it.
Yeah.
And what you buy the currency at a set rate when you put it on, but if you want to withdraw money, it's a very minimum sort of charge to take it out. Like when I was in Aussie, if I drew $1,000 out, it might cost me $3 to do it. If I used it in a restaurant or a shop, nothing. It just took it out because it took it out in local currency.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one of them.
That's the other thing to have.
And if you get a credit card with Nationwide, you don't get charged for using it abroad. How's that? You don't get no charge.
Is that a commercial, Steve?
Yeah, Nationwide Billing Society. If you get a credit card with them, if you use it abroad, you don't get no charges.
I just rip a couple of floorboards up.
Not in your van.
He's got all these American dollars in biscuit tins buried all over Wales. Hey, I've been to Wales today, Taffy. You listening?
Oh, well done.
We went up to North Wales and
Where
had a
to?
little lunch. North Wales.
Where to?
Shropshire.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
We had a little lunch there. And
well, you never know if one day if Swansea ever get promoted again and they're playing Man U, you'll have to come down, man.
Yeah, well, we'll see where we go. We can get tickets.
You never know, they might get demoted.
We'll probably be playing Margate
before. Trying to get
but...
Blackpool in the Premier League, mate. That's the next.
Yeah.
Well,
Again.
Well, Blackpool
Again, yeah.
Blackpool play Cardiff down at Cardiff in February, Bob.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So there's a spare berth for you.
Okay, well, we'll think about it, see what we can do, yeah.
Well,
I've got Miss Inch coming up here to watch Bristol City in February, I think. Yeah.
Would you be back in time, Taffy, from Europe?
You'll have to be, no, it's only allowed 90 days.
I forgot you.
Not if you've got an Irish passport, you haven't.
Yeah, I'll get you an Irish passport, Taffy. Okay, I'll get you an EU flag. You'll be okay, all right?
No, I've got one. I've got an Irish passport.
That's the well done.
Yeah, I've got mine. Anyhow, guys, it's been a bit quiet tonight, and it's I think it's getting towards that time when Johnny wants to put the music on.
Hang on. You can't
Wait a
go.
minute.
It's Seamus.
Seamus is coming in.
Seamus is coming in.
Tell him it's too late. Goodbye. Everybody just wave.
Well, he probably thought it was 7 o'clock start.
Yeah.
We'll give him a few
You're
minutes anyway.
tell him
We'll give him 5 minutes.
Yeah, you still got your green light on.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to take that off. Sorry. Well, no, we're all right. We're all right if we're on green.
A full team from Ireland here, I see.
Good evening, Shane.
How you going, guys and girls?
Seamus.
Thank you.
You're only an hour late, Seamus.
Oh, well, I was busy. I was at a birthday party. My daughter's 41st.
Ah, good.
New baby arriving next Monday week as well. The 3rd.
Congratulations.
Cheers. All is well. Are you guys looking forward to the match tonight?
Yeah, that's why we had an early start, so we can.
Yeah. So very good. That's a great picture behind you.
What's that one?
The girl in the party hat.
Oh, that's Brenda. That's a boy with a party hat.
That's me and Steely. It's me and Steely.
Oh, that's David. That's on beat.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's me and
Who's in drag?
Pete Steele.
Is it?
It's probably both of them.
That's all a night in the Peacock, I think.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah, actually, it is too. Probably, I remember that. I think it's the Sun Princess, is it not?
Oh no, I think it's the Canberra.
Is it the Canberra? Yeah, it could be the Canberra.
It looks like Peter Steele, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is Peter. Yeah, it is. So we had a cracking day here. It was a good day in England. Yeah.
Yeah. Weather was lovely here today.
Yeah, wonderful here too.
Well, it was up the north. I don't know about down south. I don't know.
Well, it started off nice this morning, but by about 2 o'clock it was starting to get rain. An hour later, it was raining quite hard.
Right. No, it's been a lovely day up here today.
Yeah, it's actually been great down here on the south coast. Even at 6 o'clock, it was nice and sunny.
Yeah.
We started off good this morning, but then it turned funny by about 2 o'clock.
I think yesterday was our day.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to be all right next week. I'm off to Weymouth for the weekend.
Lovely.
Oh, we're all going to Weymouth.
I believe from about mid-October, we're supposed to have a few hot days.
A peanut reunion. Yeah. There's a peanut next weekend. Now, I was never a peanut, obviously, because of the job I did. But I thought it'd be nice to go down there for the weekend and have a break. So I think there might be a few lads about.
In Weymouth, I expect so.
We're sending fruit on a promotional tour to promote the Crew Bar.
I doubt that I'm going to be able to get on. Steve, what I was going to say is I don't know whether I can actually get into the Crew Bar down there, but it depends how sober I am.
Yeah.
Or how drunk I am, actually, I suppose.
Can't get the full screen.
How do you mean?
Well, there's obviously more on it.
If you swipe to the right or the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is it now, boys? It's 7:10 nearly.
Yeah, I got to get going. So
I'm
I
going to
can
leave
hand-
as well.
I
I
can hand
can smell my dinner's ready.
I got to go too.
We've
And
all
I've
got
gotta
to
go.
split.
I think we've all got to go.
Seamus, it's nothing you said. It's nothing you said, sir.
There's nothing
Yeah,
against you,
thanks very
Seamus.
much.
But we're all going.
Okay, guys. Well, look,
Okay, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next
We'll be
week.
here next
Take
week.
care.
Give us a
All
wave.
the best. All
the
the
red
best.
light's on.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Tight line.
Johnny's going to
See you next week.
say
you
goodbye.
guys.
Bye, lads.
All right.
Ciao, everybody.
We're drinking and we're dancing and the band is really happening and the Johnny Walker Wizard. We're drinking and we're dancing and the band is really happening and the Johnny Walker Wisdom running high.
Hello, everyone. This is Oscar from Ollie's Pocket with Oscar Tales. P&O, 1880, the early 20th century. It is reported that P&O owned an astonishing 71 vessels in 1886, and they comprised of 50 ships, steam tugs, and launches. During the late 1880s and into the 20th century, many passengers, to avoid the rough waters of the notorious Bay of Biscay, chose instead to go overland to Marseille from London by going to a channel port and taking a ferry from Dover to Calais and joining a P&O special train to Marseille for the start of their voyage to onward ports. P&O, seeing their chance of extra money, sold the empty berths on this leg of the voyage as a cruise. A new class of ship was built in 1880. The first one was Ravenna, 3,511 gross tons, and was followed by Rahila and Rosetta. These were the first ships of all steel superstructure. Valletta and Marsilia, second, were the first ships fitted with electric lights, and later other ships were retrofitted with the new technology. Refrigerated cargo chambers in the holds and storerooms were fitted to all ships from 1883, and higher prices could be charged for shipping refrigerated goods. It also meant that all passenger supplies and provisions could be carried, and the old practice of shipping livestock for slaughter on voyage could be abandoned. In 1887, a new class of 4 ships to celebrate Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee was constructed. The Victoria, Britannia, Oceana and Arcadia were 6,500 gross tons and were the largest and said to be the most luxurious ships built to date. When built, all 4 had gun platforms, with an eye on them being chartered to the British government as armed merchant cruisers in times of war. However, this did not actually work out, as all 4 ships never took up this role during their sea career. However, 2 of them, Victoria and Britannia, did do a long-term charter as troop transports before returning to P&O for further passenger service. In 1891, the Rome suffered a disastrous fire and had to be totally rebuilt, and her length increased and given new triple expansion steam engines. Triple expansion steam engines have been fitted to all vessels since 1884. 1892 saw the Australia second and Himalaya second built of 6,901 gross tons. Australia was lost in 1904 in Port Phillip Bay on Corsair rocks due to pilot error. Himalaya lasted to 1922 when she was scrapped, and during her career was an armed merchant cruiser in 1916. 1896 saw the introduction of a new India class of ships of 7,899 gross tons. And two of this class were China and Egypt II. Egypt was lost in 1897 when she collided with the steamship Seine and sank in the English Channel. She took with her £1 million sterling of gold and silver bars. Between 1903 and 1911, 10 new class of ships were built, starting at 9,500 gross tons. They were known as the M-class ships. They included the Mongolia, 1903, 5,505 gross tons, the Manara, 1903, 10,509 gross tons, the Macedonia of 1904, 10,552 gross tons. Later ones included the Maloja and the Medina. Marconi wireless systems were installed on all P&O liners, from the first one aboard Mantua in 1909, another M-class liner, and subsequently retrofitted to all existing P&O liners in the fleet shortly after. Here is an interesting fact. P&O had two ships called Ballarat, however they were spelled differently. The first one of 1882, 4,762 gross tons, was spelt B-A-L-L-A-R-A-A-T. The second, built in 1911, was the same spelling as the Australian town. In 1910, P&O bought the Blue Anchor Line, a company of emigrant and cargo ships, who had lost their reputation in 1909 when their best and largest ship, Waratah, of 9,377 gross tons, sank on a homeward run between Durban and Cape Town. Not a trace was ever found of wreckage, cargo, or passengers, or crew. P&O changed the name after purchase to P&O Branch Line. P&O's name was greatly enhanced in 1911 when the M-class ship Medina was chosen to be the royal yacht in 1911 to take King George V and Queen Mary to the Delhi Dubai. The ship's superstructure was changed from standard P&O black to a white hull with a broad blue band around the middle. Later the Medina did cruising with its white superstructure, which is the origin of our white-hulled cruise ships of today. Well, that's all, folks, for this week. From Oscar. Oh, and always remember...
seagoing vessel, the 42,500-ton Oriana, largest liner built in this country for 20 years. This ship cost her owners £14 million, but what few people realize is that until the trials have been completed, the ship is still the responsibility of her builders, and unless the trials go off smoothly, someone could have a spare liner on their hands. The highlight of the trials was the measured mile speed test, and before this, such conditions as wind, force and direction have to be carefully measured. For this reason, too, the mile-long course, which has been measured out in the Clyde off the Isle of Arran, is taken in both directions so that a mean average speed is recorded.